In the know.
Good evening, everyone.
In the know.
Tony Reeves, Tony Reeves, Tony Reeves, Tony Reeves, fire. Following the news in any way, shape, or form. No shortage of things to talk about. What does it mean? What will it bring? Is this a reality we simply have to accept? Tony Reeves, fire. Tony Reeves. Let's go ahead and get started.
One of the things that people don't realize is really important is what types of treatment that you have. Sometimes we get so caught up in, especially when people are applying for disability, they sometimes overlook the fact that all of the different treatments that you've had, and I'm talking about above just going to your doctor and talking to them and getting medication, is very important. So it's really crucial to your disability case that you make sure that you are keeping a documented log of all of the types of treatment that you have. This way, when Social Security is asking for you for this information, you can tell them if you've had physical therapy or counseling or surgeries or pain management, because all of those treatments are necessary for Social Security to evaluate and get a better picture about how your conditions affect your ability to do things. The other thing that's really important that sometimes gets lost in the translation is the frequency of these treatments. It's the difference between having treatments where it's what I call one and done, where you try it one time, or you've done it one time and you don't get it ever again, or you've done it over a sustained period of time. You want to make sure that you provide Social Security that information about treatments, and don't discount the other things like, the holistic treatment, whether it be acupuncture or, holistic medicine, things of that nature. Remember, Social Security wants to get an accurate picture of your condition, and the only way they can get it is that if you provide it to them. All right, so stay tuned here to our break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about other treatments and how these are important parts to your disability case.
Under the Social Security regulations, representatives are permitted to practice before the administrative agency anywhere in the country, which means that when you're looking for a representative, you can find someone who doesn't necessarily have to be in your state if you're just going before the administrative agency. So it's possible to have an attorney or representative who's from Utah, even though you may be in Georgia. And our office is actually no different. So if you're wondering which states we cover, check this out. Now the tricky part is once you have to sue the Social Security Administration. Under that situation, you want to have an attorney that's representing you in your jurisdiction. So if you have a representative who's in another state and you've gone all the way to the appeals council and you've been denied and you want to sue the Social Security Administration, you make sure you ask that representative whether or not they can sue someone in that particular state.
Some of the tough things that people go through is when they're getting a whole bunch of different treatments. It is so easy and frustrating to find yourself in a situation where you're doing all these things and the first thing out of your mouth is tell Social Security they're not working. It's very important that if you're going through all of these different types of treatments, is it improving your condition? Are you noticing or are you experiencing any improvement in the condition that you've been diagnosed with? And if you're not experiencing it, it is very, 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 very important that you let your doctors know, because I can't stress this enough. If it's not documented in your file that you've told someone that your condition, the treatment that you're receiving, and I'm not talking about just regular medical treatment, medication. I'm talking about the therapies. I'm talking like pain shots in your back or pain shots in your neck, chiropractic visits, things of that nature, counseling therapies, all of those things. If Social Security doesn't have a detailed breakdown where you've at least articulated to people that these things aren't working and the doctors are trying to make some type of effort to fix these situations, Social Security won't know about it. So I cannot stress enough, take the opportunity to let your doctors know if the treatments that they're providing to you are not working. Now, the other thing that you have to understand, and this is where people lose sight of the bigger picture, when you're going to your therapies, how do they interfere with your day-to-day activities? When you're thinking, I don't understand, what do you mean by that? Well, think about it. If you're doing physical therapy 2 or 3 times a week, and you have to do it 2 or 3 times a week in order to get some measure of relief, think about what are those times when you don't get the physical therapy? Are you worse? Or are you about the same or better? Like, kind of, let's back it up for a second. Let's give you a good example. Let's say that you have injured your back, okay? And your doctor has you going to physical therapy. You notice some improvement in your condition when you go to physical therapy. So that if you don't go to physical therapy, your condition is either worse or about the same. So, but guess what? In order for you to see some improvements, you have to go 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you go at, from 8 to 10, and you notice some improvement in your condition. It lasts about a day and a half. It starts to get worse again on the Tuesday, but once you go back again, 8 to 10 on the Wednesday, it kind of continues that same cycle. You see what I'm saying here? So guess what? What happens is now when you go and you talk to a judge or Social Security, you have to explain to them, yeah, it may look like that I'm improved from a physical standpoint, but since I have to go to my therapy sessions 8 to 10, I don't know how many jobs that are out there that will allow me the ability to be able to miss basically 6 hours worth of work out of a 40-hour week, because I'm going to need those first 2 hours to go to for a physical therapist. Remember, all of these things are designed to paint a good picture about your condition so that Social Security can have an accurate description of what's going on with your situation. So this way they will have a better understanding of how your treatment and the condition you're experiencing impacts your ability to do your daily function, and whether or not this may have an impact on your ability to work.
I want to thank all of you for engaging in the videos. Make sure you take the opportunity to send me any comments or send me any particular questions that you want me to have addressed here. As you know, this show is for you, and so the only way I can make sure that I can provide you some good information is if you provide me some good questions. Keep them coming, and right here on Q&A, Social Security Disability Today.